No, it's visual effects, and you can never know with AI these days. All right. Well, good to see you all. Welcome to this edition of the Jitsi Community Call. I know we have a couple little things we want to tell people about. Like, for example, I'm super excited about the bandwidth estimations that Jonathan has been working on. This is always one of those things where you could always do better. There's always an algorithm lurking out there that performs a little better. And this one isn't just about anyone, it's the latest one from Chrome, which Jonathan is seeing adapts way faster to constrained bandwidth or to available bandwidth. So actually, mainly to available bandwidth, if I'm so, Jonathan, why don't you tell us?
Yeah, so basically, this is a port of the, well, not quite the latest. I'm updating it to the latest now, but it's much more recent than the one we had, which was from like about 8 years ago, and it's a port of the Chrome bandwidth estimation algorithm into the JDB. It is not yet enabled by default. You'd have to enable it, and it's also not yet unstable. We landed it just after we branched the stable, just for an abundance of caution. But if you take the current latest JDB and add change the config file, which you can find in reference.conf or ask me on the community forum, you can test it out. And I'd love to know if anybody tries it out and has any comments.
Jonathan, why don't we turn it on me Jitsi in the next week or two?
Probably in the next release. We can see after we've.
You mean the next Meet Jitsi?
Next Meet Jitsi release, right? Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, and just so that everyone is clear, what this is about is there are always fluctuations in your network's throughput. Someone starts using more bandwidth, all of a sudden you're constrained. The way that you would see this currently in Meet Jitsi is that there would probably be a temporary break or something, and then we would reduce video bandwidth, and this is specifically from the bridge to you. So you would see fuzzy desktop streams, for example, or fuzzy pixelated video. And then even if the disturbance in the network disappears, which often happens, we wouldn't immediately jump back to full bandwidth. And with Jonathan's latest changes in this algorithm for bandwidth estimations, we should do that a lot faster. We still don't adapt to dog barking, though. So, Jonathan, I have this right?
Yep, that was about right. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I think another case where it's visible is when someone enables screen sharing and suddenly you're receiving this big stream, and you see ghosts for a while. This should behave better with the new version, right?
Right, and Boris,
yes,
the reason we see ghosts is because we have a budget at the bridge, right, for how much bandwidth we think we have, and in what is it, an abundance of caution, we just we maybe don't have all the necessary bandwidth, so let's just cut everyone's video to let that stuff through, and then we need a while to realize that we actually do have more bandwidth.
Yeah, and the new algorithm is much better at figuring out, even if you're not currently using it, you do have this bandwidth, so I can start using it if.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see. So it used to be that the algorithms were only capable of estimating that you have, or assuming that you have about 20% more than the bandwidth that you're utilizing. And what you guys are saying, that the current algorithm would figure out, even if you're streaming 1 megabit, it would still estimate it.
Yeah, what it does is it'll send like a very short burst, like of 50 kilobytes or something, and then see how fast it arrives and figure, okay, well, if you can get 50 kilobits at 2 megabits per second, you probably have 2 megabits per second total, or 10 megabits per second, or whatever it is. So.
And this is all probing packets. It's not actual video.
Packets, yeah.
How do the probing packets look these days? Is it RDP stuff? What is it exactly?
Yeah, it's RDP stuff. It's either padding or retransmitted packets.
Okay, this is awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing it in Meet Jitsi. Boris, I think you, Jonathan. Is there anything else?
No, that's about it.
Boris, I think you had something as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to say really kudos to Jonathan for this work. That was a long time in the making, very complex project. So very happy to have it.
100%. Thank you, Jonathan.
we just merged some recording code in Chico Find the Bridge. This is a separate way that allows you to record audio in a conference. It works by using the Jitsi multi-track recorder project that is available as a Docker image. And instead of using Gigassi, which tends to be pretty heavy, this connects this new lightweight component to the bridge over a WebSocket. Right now, this is enable. You can enable this for transcription by setting some Gkofo config and some client config, and running obviously the recorder component. Um, it's still a work in progress. There's little pieces missing, like the metadata for your endpoints is not there, but it's usable.
I just want to say that that's another piece of work that I'm very excited about, and the reason is I feel very chatty today. A few years ago, or I should say about 10 years ago, when we did our first version of transcription, um, really the main use case for transcribing a video call was to see subtitles, because no one was going to read through a transcript of a video call. People barely watch the recordings. Reading the transcript is a very corner situation. So the really, when you were talking about a transcript, the place where it made most sense was during the call to see subtitles. Now, obviously, this has changed. On the one hand, it's kind of become obvious that there isn't transcripts, closed captions during a call are have their limitations. We're actually doing a redesign on that. Christo has been working on it. I think it even landed. I'm not sure why it's not enabled here, probably because of the constraints on me, Jitsi. But obviously, the thing that changed most is that now all of a sudden humanity wants to read transcripts. No, we have LLMs, so we have stuff to do with the text. You can transcribe it, or you can get action items or do something useful with the text. And what we found out at 8x8 is that relying on our existing implementation of transcribers, which were all with the assumptions that you would need the transcription real time, was quite expensive. And the reason I'm excited about this new work is because we're going to use it to build our asynchronous transcription services, which is going to be most of our transcription services, which have a lot more to do with the recording than they do with closed captions. This is one of the ways with which we intend to leverage LLMs in use cases that involve GT conferencing. So I'm very excited about it.
Yep, two more reasons why I'm particularly happy with this is one, other than transcription, it also has other uses for recording. The file that we end up recording has a separate track for each endpoint, which allows you to, for example, do record podcasts and post-process the tracks individually afterwards. So there's potential there. We're also using this completely new architecture where we're connecting through a WebSocket instead of ICE. And I think that's a cleaner architecture and allows us to, bypass the heavy Gigassi component and really use this lean architecture. So I'm pretty happy with that. The other thing I wanted to talk about is Google Summer of Code. I'm not sure how much I mentioned on previous calls. This year we have 5 projects. We just kicked them off last week. We have pretty cool stuff, and everything so far is going according to plan. We have one project doing TypeScript work in Jitsi Meet. We have another project with whiteboard improvements, so we're going to see an update there and potentially the ability to share files there as well. We have a third project for an audio switchboard. That's what we call the project, but the idea is selectable audio sources. So potentially you could do things like select translated layers from a conference, or do whispering or deaf on, or even breakout rooms with no extra signal.
That's a tough one. So there's a huge burden on the student on that one. But yeah, it could be quite cool. The selectable sources one.
Yep, I think there's potential there. The other one is RTC stats, making it easy to include in your Docker deployment. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm forgetting which the fifth project is. Well, there's one more. Apologies, but we can give you updates as they progress. And of course, as usual, the students are invited to come here and present, and we'll see if they feel comfortable. They're most welcome to.
All right. Thank you, Boris. Thank you, Jonathan. Anyone else wants to mention it? Scott, I think you had an update?
Yeah, not on the core platform, but we've had a Slack integration app for a while that was written in Golang. It was out of date as far as Slack was concerned. I've done a rewrite of that in Python that supports the Slack's modern role-based permissions. It's also written so that if someone wants to deploy their own, it no longer depends on AWS. You can run Vault or Postgres. You can also customize the / command now. There's also a socket mode, so you don't need to even use OAuth if you're using it for single workspace. The repo for that is GitHub Jitsi /Slack-Bolt. It'll also be replacing as a drop-in the current backend that we use for /Jitsi. If you use that inside of your Slack workspace, I'll be migrating all the data over, so it shouldn't be visible to folks who already use that, but let me /us know if there's a problem with that, if you find something is wonky for you. And that's it.
Thank you, Scott. Do we have anyone else that would like to announce anything?
The fifth Google Summer of Code project is the advanced audio settings UI. So that's another cool one.
Which would do what?
Which would have a section in the client configuration that allows you to configure some audio settings such as stereo,
enabling, disabling echo cancellation, noise reduction, that sort of stuff.
Yep, that sort of stuff, and you can do it live in the conference instead of before the conference starts in config files.
That's cool. I know that that's a popular feature for music lessons specifically. So I'm sure some folks would be happy to know it's coming. All right. Thanks very much, team. Do we have any? Oh, Damien, I saw you unmuting there for a second.
I just wanted to mention that we pushed a new stable release last week and haven't done in a while. The one thing. So one of the changes is the local recording. There is no limit for the duration of it, and we've made few fixes on the way because there were problems because we were playing with the format. They're changing it, and it should be all good now. And yeah, that's all.
Thank you very much. How about our community members here? Any questions from you guys?
I have a quick topic to discuss, but maybe we can do that after the recording's off. It's a bit sensitive.
Okay. All right. Anyone else?
Yes, Emil, your team is great.
Oh, thank you, Flash.
I think that there's a lot of good things happening. I wanted to bring your attention to the APK and the F-Droid. That's the only place that we can find the APK for download. And it's still at version 24, the older version. Do you have any contacts, and can you get that updated so the people can find it?
I have no idea. That's something that Saul would know about. I would suggest that you post on community.jitsi.org. He monitors that. If not, I'm going to ask him, and I'm going to have an answer for you on the next community call.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and see you again in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.